Hello, Algebra 2 students. We continue with Tier 2, Lesson 7. So we are going to check off our book here. So here we are in Lesson 7. We're going to do intercepts from an equation. So what we first want to think about is we want to recall what we know about x and y intercepts. When we have an x-intercept, we know that our y is equal to 0. And we know that when we have a y-intercept, we know that our x is equal to 0. So with that knowledge, we can come down here and find our intercepts from equations. To find our y-intercepts, we're going to set our x equal to 0 and solve for y. Then we have y equals 2 times 2, because the absolute value of 0 plus 2 is 2, minus 2, which equals 2 times 2 is 4, minus 2 is 2. Now we need to find our y-intercepts. To do that, we got to set, and now we need to find our x-intercepts. And to do that, we need to set y equal to 0. And now this is just like solving the absolute value equation from previous lessons. So we're going to add 2 to both sides. Divide by 2. So we get 1 equals the absolute value of x plus 2. And now we use case 1, where we set this equal to 1. In case 2, where we set this equal to negative 1, just like we did before. And with case 1, we have to subtract 2 from both sides, and we get x equals negative 1. And in case 2, we got to subtract 2 from both sides, and we get x equals negative 3. So if you notice, there's always one y-intercept, and how many x-intercepts does this equation have? Well, if I sketch this real quick, right here, there's really only a few different possibilities for our x-intercepts. We have only one x-intercept, and that is like our parent function when the graph just touches the x-axis and goes the other way. We can have no x-intercepts, to where the graph is above the x-axis and never touches it, or we could have no x-intercepts when the graph is below it and never touches. We could also have two x-intercepts when the vertex is below and it hits the x-axis at 2 spots. And lastly, we could have the reflection of that, where the vertex is above the x-axis and it's touching it in 2 spots. And because that I know that I can find my vertex by going left 2 and down 2, it's somewhere in this ballpark, I know that I have this type of graph that has 2 x-intercepts.